Hello Labradoodle puppy lovers. This is a birth announcement video for these Labradoodle puppies who are not even quite 24 hours old. Hi, I'm Claire from Van Isle Labradoodles, and today we are introducing you to the puppies from our celebration litter. And in today's video, we're going to talk to you about what happened during the whelping process for these 7 beautiful Labradoodle puppies. We'll tell you how Mama Cayenne has managed through the process, and we'll introduce you to each of the puppies up close and personal, tell you what time they arrived, how much they weighed, and what color they are. Please excuse me, I have a cold, so I apologize ahead of time for my voice sounding a little bit strange today. I'll do my best not to cough or need to blow my nose during the video. So Cayenne, if you are on the reservation list for one of these beautiful puppies from Cayenne and Jack, you'll know that Cayenne really drawed out the process of stage 1 labor. So what happens when Mama Labradoodle goes into labor? First of all, how do we even know that she's going into labor? Well, what happens is the girl will usually stop eating. Normally, the day or two prior to delivery, she'll really have a great appetite, and you'll think, holy smokes, is she ever eating a lot? And that's because she's storing up her energy. Because in preparation for the birth, she's going to evacuate her system and make sure that she is completely empty. So that involves not eating, going to the bathroom, you can't believe how many times, and just letting everything start to take place naturally. Now, what you may not know is that dogs have 2 uterine horns. So the puppies come on 2 different horns. And when they are getting ready to arrive, they start to line up, if you will, to make their way down toward the exit. And so you can see the puppies, they'll be extremely active. Lots of times you'll see a great big bulge out the side here as the puppies start to make their way down the horn in ready for birth. And what happens with the girl is you'll usually see some shivers, they'll pant, they'll start digging, they'll be very restless. And then when we get closer to the time, their back roaches up a bit here because it's a little bit uncomfortable as all the puppies move down towards the back of their body. So there's quite a big poof here when the puppies are all down here. It gets quite congested, if you will. So Cayenne spent a day and a night and then another day doing this process. Now, what happens and what we get concerned about when a girl takes so long in what we call stage 1 labor is that they'll become exhausted before they even start delivering the puppies. And then we can run into issues with what's called uterine inertia. And that means that the girl doesn't have enough energy to have strong contractions, enough to get the puppies out. So we have a special little formula that we make up that's really just a very strong, it's a glucose type of formula. It has molasses in it and some other things, electrolytes and so forth, to keep them in as much of a good shape as possible for delivering the puppies. Basically, it's an energy boost without taking up any room in their stomachs. Because what will happen is if they do still have something in their tummy when it comes time for the puppies to be born, is they'll throw up ahead of time. It's not unusual even for girls to throw up while they're delivering the puppies, which makes for a mess, but it's easily cleaned up. So Cayenne took her time getting started with everything, but once she started getting going, then it was not too bad and didn't take too long. And she was very, very cooperative. She didn't really get serious about anything until after we'd had dinner, and she finished delivering everybody before midnight. And that was key for this delivery because it was the last day of 2023. So all the puppies have the same birthday of December 31st, and everyone arrived just before the stroke of midnight. So that was our New Year's Eve celebration. I can't think of a more fun way to celebrate the arrival of the new year than having new puppies arrive. So Cayenne herself did very well. She was nice, calm, relaxed during the whole process. For the first couple of puppies, she didn't really know what to make of them, but soon after number 2 was born, then she got the hang of it. Now, in our week 1 update, we'll give you a few more details about the actual birth. But for today, because the puppies and Cayenne are still settling in and getting used to one another, we want to keep this video a little bit shorter. So we'll just get right to introducing you to the puppies and leave more of the details for you in our week 1 update. So the first puppy to arrive, he was born at 8:19 p.m. and that was our little mint color boy. And that's the little guy here. Now I'm going to try and pick them all up to show them to you. If Cayenne objects, then of course I will not do that. But I think she's probably okay with it. She does trust us. She's quite comfortable. As you can see, she's still quite tired. She's resting quite a bit, still getting her energy back from all of the work of delivering and now feeding this many mouths. And in today's video, I am going to tell you that all these puppies are caramel. Some of them may end up being red. At this point, it's too early to tell because what makes the difference is what color their nose and their foot pads are. And right now, their noses and foot pads are all pink, so we can't tell if they're going to be brown, which makes them a caramel, or if they're going to be black like Cayenne, which makes them a red. Now you see the color of these puppies is a honey color. Some of these puppies will darken and become more of a red like Cayenne, and some of them will stay more of this caramel color, more like Papa Jack. So this little guy, he is, as we will call him for now, a caramel. He has some white markings on him. You can see he has some white around his muzzle. This is going to become more obvious as he gets older. And he has a little splotch of white on the top of his head. And if I can just see here, here he comes, let me show you. Nope, no white on the feet. He does have a little tiny white tip at the end of his tail, which is hard to see right now. So that's little Mr. Mint Color, and he weighed 233 grams when he was born. All these puppies have beautiful birth weights, very good for a larger litter of 7. Next at 8:57 was Mr. Blue Collar, who's right here. Mr. Blue Collar being another caramel and another boy. If you don't already know, all of the puppies except for one are boys. At Van Isle, we seem to be going through an interesting process right now where we have had a litter that was all boys but one girl, and then we had a litter that was all girls and one boy, and now we have another litter of all boys and one girl. So ideally, I hope in 2024 we get back to a little bit more of an even split. So this little tiger here is the smallest puppy in the litter. He was 197 grams when he was born, and you can see he is quite petite. He fits very easily into my hand at this point, and he does not have any white on him, I don't believe. Now, if you'll look at him, he's almost opening his mouth there. It looks to me like he has probably got black lips. I can't tell for sure, so he may be one of the ones who is a red. So that's Blue Collar. Next at 8:59, we had Silver Collar Boy. And Silver Collar is right here. Silver Collar has some white markings on him. Both Cayenne and Jack carry for Party, and it's Party. That's the allele that makes the white markings on these dogs. So you can see here on Mr. Silver, he has white on his chest, and he's got this white heart shape on the top of his head here, really cute. And probably he's going to have some white along around his face as well. I just can't tell quite now because he's this beautiful golden color, and he has a more predominant white tip at the end of his tail. And Mr. Silver Collar was 212 grams. Here you go. There's your handsome boy. Thank you. Good girl. What a good girl. And then next we had our one and only girl, and she arrived at 9:32 a.m. and she weighed 215 grams, and that's Pink Collar Girl. And you can see what I'm doing here is the puppy is attached, and so I don't want to pull her off aggressively when she's nursing. I want her to let go on her own, because even at this very young age, I want them to associate me with something good, not with something unpleasant. And look, she still has her little tongue out like she's still nursing. You can see she too has that beautiful little tiny smidge of white at the top of her head. She's got a white goatee. And do you have white on your chest? Yes, she's got some white on her chest too. And we are hoping to hold back a female from this litter. So if this little lady does end up being breeding quality, we already know her name because our guardians have named her, and they want to call her Rua, which is red in Irish, and they have an Irish heritage. So Miss Rua, if she does become our breeding prospect, was 215 grams. And our only little lady. So I'm just going to pop her back here so she can find where she was and continue on with her morning meal there. Then next we had our first party puppy. Now party, if you're not familiar with that term, means that the puppy is white and colored. And so a party can be white and any other color. And a party is a puppy who is 50% white and then 50% of the other color. Sometimes you'll hear me talk about an extreme party, and when we have an extreme party, that means more than 50% of the body is white and there is just a small amount of the darker color. Mr. Yellow is a party. Hi, baby. Now you'll see that he has markings on him, the caramel markings, but you're going to see these become more and more dark as he gets older. He has beautiful symmetrical markings. Both of his eyes and right up to his ears are fully marked. Then he has the color patch on his head that looks a little bit like a raindrop. He's got a nice big saddle marking on this side and that side as well. And then the base of his tail is also marked. I suspect in here we have some more color that's going to show up as time goes on. Right now we can't see all of his markings. Hello, sweetheart. And Mr. Yellow, he arrived at 9:57 a.m. and he weighed 242 grams. So you can see we have a little bit of a trend here where we're getting a little bit bigger. Hey, sweetheart, can I put these in? What Cayenne is doing there when she's licking their bums is the puppies are unable to go to the bathroom on their own, so she stimulates them to go, and she also consumes everything. And the reason for that is to make sure that there's no scent in the nest for possible predators to find. We don't have too many predators at our house. However, it is a basic instinct that dogs have. That's a good girl. And next is our other party, Red Collar Boy. He arrived at 10:42 a.m. and this is our chunker in the litter so far. This is was the biggest puppy at birth. And Cayenne Doodle, honey, can I just get him? Thank you, sweetheart. And we see he's nursing too, so we'll just ask him to release. Oh, good, he was easygoing. And Mr. Red is also just like his brother. Same thing, beautiful markings, lots of them, a little bit less on the face. So you'll see his are more on the side of his face, up his ears, and then he has really cool markings on his side here where they're a little bit more almost dappled looking. Very pretty. And then down here, same thing, we have dapples down the back, and those are going to become even more prominent as we get bigger. So this little chunky boy came in at 277 grams. That's a big puppy. There we go, sweetheart. And then last but not least, at 11:20 p.m., I think I was saying a.m. before, these are all p.m., Mr. Purple Collar arrived, and Mr. Purple Collar is, where are you, Purple? It gets a little hard to know who's who here when they all look so much the same. Here we go. Hi, go, Purpy. Mr. Perp at 11:20 came in at 216 grams. And he's got also a beautiful white heart on the top of his head and white on his chest. Hello, sweetheart. And then we were all finished. We thought for a brief minute there might be 8 puppies. How we determine if there are more puppies or not is, first of all, we palpate the girl so we can see if we can feel one. But sometimes, like even right now, right here, feels like, oh, that could be a puppy. If we were giving birth, I would think that might be a puppy. Likely it's because Cayenne has to poop. And then we also have a handheld Doppler. So we put the handheld Doppler through the dog and see if there's any heartbeats registering. Unfortunately, it's not a very sophisticated tool, and sometimes it tells us, oh yeah, there's a heartbeat here, and there's nothing. And other times it says, yep, nope, no heartbeat, and then what do you know, a puppy appears. But the biggest and most reliable indicator, which is highly unscientific and doesn't involve anything with equipment, is whether the mom will eat. So we go and we prepare her meal for her, we offer her food. If there's still a puppy, she won't eat. If she's finished, oh my goodness, she can't wait to just chomp down on whatever we've got there. We could serve her anything and she would think it was delicious at that point in time. So we gave Cayenne a meal. She ate it all up in about 1 second. And she was also quite happy to go outside and go to the bathroom. So we knew that we were finished. And we had our 7 beautiful puppies. Now, some of you may wonder why Cayenne has this green wrap on her tail and what is this on here. So there is, of course, during birth, a fair amount of discharge with the puppies. This is just to protect her tail from getting all gloppy and becoming a big mess. As soon as the discharge is finished, then we'll take this wrap off. Cayenne seems to not have too much discharge any longer, so we'll probably take that off later today. So those are your puppies. Congratulations to our families on this litter list. We do have 1 spot open on this list, as I never anticipated that Miss Cayenne Doodle would bless us with 7 puppies. That's a lot of puppies for a first litter. So we have 1 open spot available. If you're interested, please go to our website onto the Find Your Puppy page and just click on the Apply Now. And on the last question, just let me know that it is one of the puppies from the Celebration litter that you're interested in. These puppies will be going home right at the end of February. I believe it's February 25th is their going home day. So we hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have a moment, we would really appreciate if you could post some comments below in the video here. That helps us so much with the algorithm. And also, I love to hear from you and communicate back and forth with you. If you don't have time for that, a thumbs up would be much appreciated as well. And we'll see you all back here again when the puppies turn a week old. And we hope you follow along for their journey right through to the time when they're 7 weeks and are allocated. Thanks so much for watching.